Corporate sustainability is frequently treated as a profit-driven business strategy or a checklist for regulatory compliance. This approach creates a specific vulnerability. What happens to a company's green initiatives when doing the right thing stops being profitable? Without a deeper foundation, environmental and social efforts easily collapse under economic pressure. After 25 years as a Lasallian educator, I found that the most resilient leadership frameworks are often those with the deepest historical roots. In 17th century France, Saint John Baptist de La Salle developed a moral code that precisely addresses the gaps in modern corporate strategy. Translating these ancient tenets into a diagnostic framework provides a necessary roadmap for corporate survival today. The first pillar is faith. In a business context, this is a belief in the future we are collectively building. Faith requires moving past the microscopic view of quarterly earnings to focus on the reality of the decades ahead. This mindset recognizes that today's corporate actions are the direct and unavoidable building blocks of tomorrow. The baseline requirement of this pillar is a commitment to leaving behind a livable planet for the next generation. Applying the lens of faith shields a company from the volatility of short-term quarterly thinking. The second pillar is zeal, the relentless, passionate pursuit of what is right, regardless of profit or regulation. Zeal acts as a barrier against greenwashing and the habit of doing the bare minimum allowed by law. A zealous business reduces emissions and waste out of a sense of moral duty. Regulatory requirements are a secondary concern compared to doing what is right. This drive transforms a company from a passive rule follower into an active moral leader. The final pillar, communion, addresses the isolation of the boardroom bubble. Communion is the practice of radical solidarity with the communities impacted by companies' operations. It demands a direct connection to the workers laboring within the hidden layers of the corporate supply chain. In the Philippines, this means connecting boardroom choices to the outrigger boats of fisherfolk, whose waters are increasingly vulnerable to industrial runoff. Ultimately, communion protects the most vulnerable stakeholders, the children who will live with the physical consequences of today's business models. This pillar forces executives to recognize the tangible human impact behind every boardroom decision. Faith, zeal, and communion form an unbreakable moral triangle, a framework that anchors an organization against economic storms. This framework turns sustainability into a moral commitment that holds steady even when profits fluctuate. For Philippine businesses, where industry and community are so closely intertwined, this level of moral dedication is the only way to ensure long-term stability. Evaluate your own company's motives. Determine if your sustainability goals are driven by convenience or by a true moral commitment. Follow SustainPH Studio for daily, actionable tips designed for Philippine business leaders rooted in this tradition. Sustainability tools will change, but the core requirement, acting with integrity, has always been the stabilizer of lasting businesses.